Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is for attracting a Virgo lover. Virgo is a very practical sign. It's an earth sign. It's a mutable earth sign ruled by Mercury. So out of all of the earth signs, the other ones being Taurus and Capricorn, I think it's safe to say that Virgo is the most mental or intellectual of the three. Doesn't mean the smartest. We're talking about, wanting to gain information, liking to read, things like that. And another thing to note is that the earth and the water signs are feminine signs. So they tend to be more home-oriented and they tend to be more introverted and enjoying the company of their own people, their family, their friends that are sometimes long-term friends, but they're not necessarily the kind of people that like to just always go out to parties, especially if they don't know the people and things like that. I will say that because Virgo is a mutable sign, they do have that, and ruled by Mercury, they do like to have discussions. So they may like book groups or other kinds of maybe adult education classes. Maybe they enjoy taking courses throughout their lives to learn things, and they meet people in that type of a venue. But if you're somebody like a Leo who's attracted to a Virgo person and you want to drag them to all these parties or to some boisterous bar, they may not be interested in that. And you would have to be okay with how they do things. Virgo people tend to be shy. It doesn't mean that they're incapable of talking to strangers. I think we have to get over this notion that everyone who's shy has social anxiety. It's a preference. Just like people who are extroverts, we're not going to all call them attention whores just because they like to associate with others. The best definition I've had of introverts versus extroverts is that introverts feel that they are diminished by spending time with others. And I'm talking about socializing. I'm not talking about with anybody that they feel this way. In other words, their energy gets drained in their social interactions. Extroverts actually gain energy, or they feel energized by their social interactions. And so you have here two entirely different types of people. If you are a Gemini who might be attracted to a Virgo person, you may have different styles of socializing. And that may actually become a bugaboo. A lot of people don't think about that part of whether or not two people are compatible. And that is a big part of compatibility, what your social styles are. If one person is kind of a homebody and the other person likes to go out, unless the person who likes to socialize can handle going to places alone and doesn't see it as an indictment of the relationship or anything like that, that's going to create friction. We have to really honor people's basic temperaments. And Virgo is a very modest sign, and that includes how they tend to dress. Unless they have Leo rising and they, look like they're going to Vegas every day, they tend to be very nondescript. And I recently found out that Woody Allen has Virgo rising. I believe that's correct. And he looks, it's almost like hip because he's so frumpy, now, he's an older man, but back when he was, the hottest commodity, he was dressing in this very nondescript way, and people were dressing like that as well. I'm talking about in the 70s particularly. Now, if you're somebody who values a lot of flash, a Virgo person can seem kind of mousy, and you may want to give them an extreme makeover, and that's not right. Virgo people crave and love simplicity in life, and this can lead to them loving minimalism. Okay? That is a big key buzzword. A lot of videos get a lot of hits if they include that word. And that's because people are looking to simplify their lives. Well, a Virgo person has always been like this, no matter what. And if you're somebody who is into shopping, into conspicuous consumption, you're going to turn off a Virgo person. But again, you can't be other than that which you are. So unless you're actually inspired by this Virgo person, don't be a phony and pretend that you are really a minimalist when you're actually a maximalist. And I'm creating that word because that's how I see conspicuous consumption. And yes, I'm talking about you, Taurus. I'm talking about you, Leo, and Libra, okay? These are signs that like bright, shiny objects, and they can tend to aggravate somebody like a Virgo who may actually be, even though Virgo's an earth sign and doesn't tend to be emotional or passionate, that can really get them going in terms of their cause that means a lot to them, is not having waste. Recycling is a big one. If don't you dare go out on a date with a Virgo person where there is recycling and throw it in the trash just because you're too lazy to sort it out, okay? Can you tell that I have a moon in Virgo? Because that's kind of something that drives me crazy. But the thing to impress a Virgo person is go to a cafe. Let's say you go to a cafe and you have some kind of, let's say it's like you get like an iced tea and it has a plastic container. You tell the Virgo person, I'm going to bring this home to recycle. And they will fall in love with you right then and there. So you can thank me later for that one. So a Virgo person is usually well-read, even if they've dropped out of high school. They will tend to be big readers. So if you're somebody, I just said this for Gemini, if you're somebody who doesn't like to read, if you're somebody who doesn't like to learn new things, you're going to probably turn off a Virgo person. Chances are they are going to want to engage with you and bond with you through some kind of shared interest, or like an author that you both like, or any kind of a cause or some kind of a thing. If you're both vegans, vegetarianism is very big with Virgos, as is natural health, alternative medicine, and things like that. So and health in general, obviously, but because Virgo rules the 6th house of health. But a lot of times I think of alternative health, health food. And so if you don't know about these things, at least express an interest in learning and let Virgo be your guide, because they will tend to know about herbs and their properties. They will tend to know about the latest superfood. And by allowing Virgo to share their practical information, you really help them to feel like they are of use. And Virgos love to be of use. This is one of the reasons why Virgo people can sometimes get into relationships that are negative, because people sense that about them. And unfortunately, there are some people that take advantage of those who are trying to help. So don't be one of those people. Help the Virgo person too. But if you are going to seek their assistance, ask them for their wealth of information, because they will feel very flattered about that. Virgo people are not complicated people in that they don't need a lot to be happy. But they do want the life of the mind as well. They're not going to be satisfied as earth signs just with the pleasures of the flesh. And they actually really are disciplined people, and they like that kind of orderly existence. So if you're somebody who's very chaotic and you don't want to go to bed at a reasonable hour and you don't want to get up, these kinds of people may find that incompatible with their lifestyle. They tend to be clean living people, so they tend not to be partiers. Now, obviously, this is going to be different for some Virgo people, but in general, this will be the case. So understand who you are and understand who they are, and respect them for those qualities, because they really do have a lot to offer. It's just that a lot of Virgo people are not flashy, and they don't stand out from the crowd sometimes the way a Leo person does, who sucks up all the oxygen in a room. If you can take them for who they are and appreciate that and accept them and that kind of thing, you will have a real gem on your hands. And so you have to be the kind of person that can vibe with that quiet energy. I think the biggest mistake everyone makes in love is trying to get people to be other than what they are. We can always help one another improve, but those qualities that make up someone's personality, their basic personality, should be respected from the get-go. And then you can have a genuine, mutually appreciative relationship. And that's what I think we all want. At least I know that I'm glad that I have that in my life, and I want that for everyone else. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy this. Take care. Bye.